Hey guys, Kim Jong Lee here, and I'm back with another online commentary battle for Rome Total War. This time it's a subscriber-submitted battle by Vicoxbeats against Zero. So we're going to get it started with Numidia here with 2 slingers, 6 archers, 6 long shield cav, 2 of these Numidian cav, and 4 gold Numidian legionaries. We have Greece here with 6 gold archers, 1 Cretan, 2 militia cav, which are gold, and 6 Greek cav, which are gold with a chevron. Also 5 armored hoplites for the infantry. We have kind of a missile fight there between the Jav cav, and we can see that the arrows are already flying between the 2 players. We can see here Zero is going to move 3 units out and split them off. I'm more of a fan of keeping them together in this matchup. No, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, so I guess these 4 Numidian legionaries are kind of... I'm not sure if they're common or uncommon in this matchup. I feel like they're quite good because they're quite strong against the armored hoplites, and that's, as Numidia, that's kind of all you've got going for you. So maybe this is alright. Greece has opted for a lot of Greek cav, so this is probably to contest the long shields. He's put a chevron on them as well, so that should make them a little bit better against the long shields, but long shields will still be better overall. But these 4 Numidian legionaries are going to cause problems for Zero if he tries to go for a endgame box, because he has to get rid of these legionaries as well, somewhere along the line. Just because these legionaries have the peeler, so if Vicox saves them until the end, he can get some really nice peeler off into the box, and that could end up winning him the game. And of course, the melee ability of these guys can really swing. Really put pressure on 1 or 2 parts of the box and break it up. So these guys pretty much have to be destroyed, as well as the 8 missile units that Numidia fields, the 2 slingers and the 6 archers, so that's pretty dangerous as well, if he wants to go for that box endgame. The other option is to take out all the cav of Vicox, but that's going to be difficult because this cav is light cav. The cav of Zero is not as good. I think I would have liked to see a longer skirmish. I don't really like this push up with the pikes. I don't really see a need to. It looks like Zero is just going to charge in and hit some of these guys, but he's leaving this side very exposed, and a lot of this cav is coming around as well, but looks like he's going to try and counter punch with the Greek cav. He's going to hit an enemy legionary, but I think that was more from the front, and it's going to get surrounded as well, so not good news for these Greek cav units. Didn't even rout any of them. Didn't rout any of the legionaries, so that was unfortunate. He does stop these legionaries from getting any peeler off though, and they are bunched up, so these cav hits might be fairly effective. We have this long shield cav here that can get the back of these Greek cav, and a lot of these Greek cav are gonna now probably get caught up in with a lot of these long shields here, which could be dangerous. Looking a bit like not good for Vicox at the moment. He's pinned between 2 Greek forces, but it looks like his cav is just going to be strong enough to tough it out. And yeah, kill a lot of this cav along the way. Zero using his cav very aggressively this game, really just pushing everywhere with them he can. Vicox going for a counter punch, not getting too inspiring results so far. Gets blocked by the pikes, which is not good. Some of the cav routing there. And it looks like Zero is going to push up and overextend maybe just a little bit. And it just seems to be pushing back and forth here in the center. Looks like another Numidian unit's routed. A lot of these Greek cav left though, so it seems like Zero's just gonna use these guys to chase archers. You know, wants to get rid of the archers, which is pretty good, I think. Really should split them off a bit more. Maybe try and catch a few more archers. I'd probably get these guys closer together and yeah, try and facing any archers that might be tempted to shoot at them. These Greek Cav doing some decent work already. Should have them in a blob together though. Would really strengthen them against this high number of archers that's rolling around at the moment. Unfortunately, too much of the cav has been taken out, and that's going to allow Vicox to just melee his archers in and rout these Greek cav, which are heavily outnumbered against a lot of these archer units. Zero is going to split off his guys now and chase after some of these archers, but I'm not really a fan. I feel like he should be trying to stick these guys together and going for the endgame box, but he seems to want to chase the archers, which I find a little bit strange. Yeah, if he had a bit more cav to work with here, he might be in a pretty good spot because he'd be able to push a lot of archer units simultaneously. That being said, Vicox does have a lot of cav left himself. This unit's going to get picked off, and that's just a consequence of splitting your infantry up like this. Can't really protect from multiple flanks. Don't really have the weight and numbers that you'd like against a big cav charge. Numidian legionaries here going in, gonna get a nice charge off without downed pikes. So that's gonna do a little bit of damage to these armored hoplites, which are really important for Zero right now. And it looks like Zero's general has routed, unfortunately, from a unit of Numidian cav. So that's pretty much all Vicox is going to be able to do in the archer department, apart from shooting up enemy archers with this archer unit over here. But yeah, he's not really in a position to make a box either, because his armored hoplites are so far away, far apart. If he kept them in a kind of a close bunch, he could be able to develop a box very quickly. But unfortunately he didn't go for that. He does have this one Greek cav unit left, so I guess there is still some harassment potential. Maybe he can get these two archers over here. But Vicox is just gonna focus on these armored hoplites over here. And he does have some pretty nice angles on them. Has to be careful with his general though, doesn't want that routing. And now Zero's going to run this guy back, and all he's been able to do is take out this one archer unit. And I feel like he would have been able to do a lot more to kind of stop attacks like this coming in from Vicox if he was closer to his other infantry units. These missile units here are going to be very vital if Zero goes for a box of some sort, but he's rapidly running out of men. I'm not sure he'll have enough to actually box effectively. Then it seems like this cav unit is doing work. It seems to me Vicox is a bit too eager to melee in his slingers and things like that, as you'll see here soon. Vicox just melees these guys in, and I'm fairly sure these guys still have arrows and rocks left, so I feel like that was a bit, I don't know, it seemed a bit unwarranted. I mean, he wasn't in like a desperate position here. He could have just run away with these, spread out his missile units, just run off, spreading them around. I mean, this cav unit's dead. It's been caught by the Numidian cav. He could have just spread these guys around and really valued those missiles, those rocks, but he doesn't, and instead loses quite a few slingers and quite a few archers as well to this one archer unit which had no arrows left. So that was, I think, a bit unfortunate, because it would have made this endgame a lot easier against this armored hoplite if you had more than one missile unit. With just one missile unit, this one armored hoplite can just face him and he'll always just be taking frontal attacks. Whereas if you have two or more, preferably, then you can spread them around and he can't face all of them at once. So he'll be taking flank shots, back shots, things like that. So yeah, rather unfortunate that Vicox decided to just charge in all his guys. And yeah, he lost a fair few of them as well. A lot of his archers went unprotected on this side over here, and he ended up losing quite a few. But it is quite hard to defend against Greek Cav, seeing as they're so mobile. We do have 4 Numidian legionaries here. Looks like they're going to try and target these armored hoplites, which is fair game. I feel like the legionaries should win. It's just this one armored hoplite unit that he's worried about, I guess. These things are going to come in now, but they're very tight. He should really rest them up. These cav are exhausted as well, so he really just needs to rest. I really should just triple speed it. And there's a mini battle here, so it's 2 against 4. 4 should win. But looks like I was wrong and the Numidians lose. Huh, that's... Maybe the stats are still in favor of the armored hoplites. And the phalanx formation might have helped, but I'm not sure how much. He's gonna get them back to his main force though. It's not much to speak of though. It's 28 guys total. Vicox has lost a lot of cav. He lost a lot of cav trying to quickly get rid of some of these units. I remember this armored hoplite got charged a bunch of times and didn't rout, and that ended up costing Vicox quite a lot. I feel like he could have Vicox could have taken his time a bit more, maybe like preserved some more of his missiles, preserved some more of his cav, and he could have ended up with a more like decisive endgame situation. Whereas now it's kind of because his cav is so reduced, and he's only got this one slinger left. So yeah, a bit unfortunate there. I feel like he can definitely still take it, but 26 armored hoplites gold is nothing to scoff at. Well, 28 total if you include these two guys. 28 armored hoplites gold, nothing to scoff at, and they can definitely beat 3 long shields from the front, and these guys are exhausted. So I wouldn't charge these guys in at all. He does have this Numidian cav though, which could help out. But again, these armored hoplites are pretty tough guys. The good thing is the general is routed for 0, so that will make it easier for Vicox. But these armored hoplites again, they're eager, they're not wavering or anything. So I mean, it's going to be tough to get them to rout without the proper planning. And looks like these things are just running around. Not quite sure what they're trying to do. They've still got rocks, and not sure why Zero's facing the wrong way. Okay, he's facing the right way now. That's good. As I said before, if Vicox had 2 missile units, this would not be a problem, but he's only got 1. So I guess we'll speed it up a bit. His cav are exhausted, so he'll definitely want to be resting them up. Slingers are exhausted as well, so I'm not sure if they run out of arrows or if he's just resting them up before shooting. Looks like they have just run out of arrows. Rocks, sorry. But he definitely needs to rest up his cav, and he needs to rest up the slingers if he plans to use them as well. The slingers, with their weight and numbers, could be very, very useful. You might not even have to engage them for them to just do the morale damage by having the strength of numbers on their side. So he could charge in with the cav and then just stand the slingers close by, and it could cause enough morale penalty to rout the 26 armored hoplites there. They are without general. While Vicox still does have his, so yeah, that's definitely going to be something that helps out. Zero still has a chance, but it's really going to be dictated by how well Vicox plays at this point. Zero, I mean, he's not going to make a mistake in micro because he's only got 2 units to micro. So it's really just going to be up to how Vicox attacks more than anything. Not sure about putting this Slinger unit in first. I probably would have put it in last because I'm scared of it routing and then affecting the rest of my army. But it looks like some cabs going to route here, and very close, but looks like the weight in cav just won out in the end. Stingers probably helped there as well, but close victory overall. I feel like Zero is probably a bit too hasty at the start, really pushing up with that infantry, but pushing into the Numidian legionaries was not a good idea, I think, especially since they were gold. He needed to kill them eventually, but not that early on. I feel like he could have skirmished a lot more with his 6 archers and the Cretan. I think it had decent chances against what Vicox was fielding in terms of missiles. Vicox, I think, could have probably preserved his cav and archers better towards the end, and it would have been a more decisive victory for him if he had done that. But well played to both players overall, and I'll see you guys next time.